This video will cover quite a few sections, including the brainstem and the cerebellum. The brainstem is just past the spinal cord, the first part being the medulla oblongata. And the medulla oblongata, as well as the pons and the midbrain, contain ascending and descending tracts. All that means is sensory information comes up and through this region, and motor information goes down and through this region. And the medulla oblongata coordinates autonomic reflexes and visceral functions. It controls some basic functions such as heart rate, breathing rate, so here you can see quite a few regions of the medulla oblongata that we do not need to know. Again, quite a bit of information. You can just pause the video to read through this. The pons links the cerebellum to the brainstem and spinal cord, and also has autonomic reflex centers. There are ascending and descending tracts, as with the medulla oblongata. There's some control of respiration. The cerebellum coordinates muscular activity, whether it's learned activity or reflexes, and this is all done subconsciously. It's like the automatic processing center. The cerebellum is like the cerebrum in that it's got an outer layer of gray matter called the cerebellar cortex. It adjusts postural muscles and fine-tunes movements controlled at both the conscious and subconscious levels. So it's posture and fine-tuning skeletal movements. The cerebellar cortex, that outer gray layer, has an inner granular layer and a Purkinje cell layer. These cells are the only axons leaving the cerebellar cortex. When you cut into the cerebellum, you're going to see a tree-shaped structure. It is arborvitae, the tree of life. And you can see it's here. Ataxia is a result of cerebellum damage, and it's the inability to coordinate muscle movements. If severe, a person cannot stand or sit without assistance. Again, pause the video to read through this. The midbrain is superior to the pons. It is the most complex part of the brainstem. It's closer to the brain. It can direct complex motor patterns subconsciously and influences the level of activity of the entire nervous system. There are various parts to this midbrain that we do not need to know, just know in general some of the functions. It receives visual input from the thalamus and controls reflex movement of the eyes, head, and neck. It receives auditory input, controls reflex motion in response to auditory input. For example, you hear noise, you turn toward that noise. And it also contains a reticular activating system. This system is when it's stimulated, it will allow us to become alert and awake. Damage to this reticular activating system in the midbrain produces unconsciousness or coma. Which of the following results in ataxia? Trauma to the cerebellum. Which of these is activated by a ringing alarm clock? RAS or reticular activating system.